Hello, welcome back to 1964 Payoff Pitch Baseball. Today we have the Pittsburgh Pirates in town to play the Cincinnati Reds here at Crosley Field. It's Monday night, May the 4th, 1964. We have a night game. The Reds were able to split a four-game series with the Mets. After losing the first two, they took both ends of a doubleheader yesterday, 6-5 and 9-5. So currently they find themselves at 10-7, 2.5 games out of first place. Milwaukee is 12-5. The Dodgers are 14-6. Pittsburgh, who is our opponent today, comes in at 10-6. They are 2 games out. They have won the last 2 games they played in St. Louis. So today's matchup will be Joey J going for the Reds against Joe Gibbon for the Pirates. And let's head to the park. Oop, that was the wrong button. Yeah, that was the wrong button too. Let's just go this route.
Replay Radio is live from Cincinnati. Top of the first.
Here we are, beautiful Crosley Field at night. Let me kill the background sounds, so we don't want any of that. Alrighty. Alright, so as usual, using Replay Baseball to input my stats and for the ambiance, which I enjoy very much, as I have detailed in depth in a previous video. So let's go to, okay, let's see, we don't got our, okay, there's that. For some reason it didn't carry over, but there we are. All right, so let's get this party started. Leading off for the Pirates will be shortstop Gene Alley. He has just had one at bat thus far. The Reds are sporting their home red dice. So Joey J is 0-1 with a 5.71 ERA and 2 starts. So he is not off to the greatest 1964 season. So here we go. So that will be a patient 42 and versus a right-hander. That's going to be a single. That's a grounder up the middle. And the Pirates get their first runner on. So single for Gene Alley. He is a 3F. We rolled a 6, so he will not be attempting to steal. Bill Verdon, the center fielder, is due up next. He is an A bunter, but only had 5 sacrifice bunts, and we needed 12, so he's not going to try that. Chico Ruiz will be in at third, anticipating a possible bunt. With Alley being an F stealer, we're probably not going to try the hit and run. So Bill Verdon is 233 with 4 RBI so far this year. We get another patient, but we got a 93, so that's going to be a fly ball out to Frank Robinson, who is just back in the lineup after having been out for about 3 or 4 games. So glad to have him back. So with 1 away, Roberto Clemente will step to the plate. 30-year-old right fielder is hitting .393, 2 home runs and 11 RBIs, .471 on base percentage, so he is off to a great start. Cincinnati will be at double play depth, and here is Joey J looking into this for the sign. We get a tough 31. That's no wild pitch, and versus a righty, Clemente will go down on strike swinging. So great pitch by Joey J there. Confounds Clemente. And there are 2 out, so that's a big strikeout for Joey J, the former Milwaukee Brave. Willie Stargell, 24-year-old left fielder, is off to a 204 start, 1 home run, 8 RBIs. Lefty versus the righty J. Alley on first base. And we get a tough 63 versus a righty, and that's going to be a ground ball to Cardenas at short, and he fields it cleanly and will throw on to Darren Johnson for the third out of the inning. So the Pirates get the first runner on, but leave him stranded, and after a half an inning, it is Pirates nothing, the Reds coming to bat. So Joe Gibbon, left-handed pitcher, will go for the Pirates. So far, he is 1-0 with a 2.38 ERA in 2 starts. So he will start off with Tommy Harper, who is hitting .205. Pete Rose is out of the lineup. He didn't play the second game yesterday, so I'm assuming he's hurt, not being in today as well. But we do have Frank Robinson back in the lineup, which will be very helpful. So here is Harper, and he gets a tough 47 versus a left-hander, and that will be a single. That's a long single into the gap. Verdon will hurry to cut it off and get it back in before Harper can get any further than first base. So Harper is a 6B, and unfortunately we rolled an 8, so I would have liked to have got him a lead. So that brings up Bobby Klaus, who is filling in at second base for Pete Rose. He is 1 for 6 in limited play. He's a C bunter. Looks like they've got Freeze in at third. We're going to go ahead and try the sacrifice. So it is hit to the catcher. He is a C bunter, and so that is going to be a double play. So that sucks. So he pops it up. Let me just double check that. Double play with runner on first. The lead runner and batter are out. All right, so he pops out to the catcher, and he goes on to first base. It was a bunt, and he is out. So I think we got that right. So pop out, double play, 2-3. So that does look accurate. All right, so Harper is out 2-3 for out number 2. Klaus popped out to the catcher on a bunt for the first out of the inning. And so just like that, Frank Robinson will be facing Gibbon with the bases empty. So Frank Robinson was off to a pretty slow start. He's hitting .140, 1 home run, and 8 RBIs. That's an in-play 53, and that's going to be a ground ball to Freezy at third. And he will throw on to Clendenin. And just like that, the Reds are retired. So they get no runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left. And after 1, we are knotted at 0. So Don Clendenin will lead off for the Pirates. He is leading the Pirates with 4 home runs. He's hitting .271, 11 RBIs. Joey J will focus his attention into Hal Smith for the sign. Here is the pitch. And that's a in-play 0-3, and that's going to be a double. That's a line drive into the alley. Pinson will cut it off in the left center field gap. Clendenin will hustle around first and slide into second with a double. So that's going to be Clendenin's second double of the season. And the Pirates get their second leadoff man on in a row. So Clendenin gets double number 2. So he's a 4C, and you need doubles under 4 to try for third. Bill Mazeroski will come up. He does sacrifice hit a lot, but they're not going to have him do it here. Johnson is in at first just in case. Mazeroski's hitting .288 with a homer and 7 RBIs. That's a tough 63 versus a righty, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Frank Robinson. And on toughs, nobody is able to advance. So fly out to Robinson, short enough that Clendenin has to hold at second. And there is 1 away for Gene Freezy. He's hitting .364, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. I believe he will end up being a Red in 1969, I believe. But for now, he is a Pirate. So that is a in-play 78, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Pinson in center field. He drifts a couple steps to his right and puts it away for out number 2. And that will bring up the Pirate catcher, Jim Pagliaroni. He is the 8th hitter. We could intentionally walk him, but Joe Gibbon is a pretty good hitter, so we're not going to do that. So we'll see what Jay can do with Pagliaroni here. That's an in-play 25, and that's going to be a hit. Clendenin is a 7, so he will automatically score. And it's a line drive into center field. Clendenin is around to score, and the Pirates go up by 1. So that'll be Pagliaroni's 4th RBI of the year. So he drives in the first run of the game. He is a 2B on the steal, and we got a 5, so he'll be holding tight. So 2 outs. Gibbon is up. He's 2 for 3 so far. He hit 255 and 47 at bats in real life, so not a pushover by any stretch. That's a 10, which is an in-play 60. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Frank Robinson, and he will take it for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Pirates get on the board first on 1 run on 2 base hits, no errors, 1 runner left. And we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Pirates up by 1. So Joe Gibbon on for his 2nd inning of work. We'll start off with Darren Johnson, Cincinnati first baseman, who's platooning at first. And he is hitting 179 with just 3 RBIs so far. And that's a tough 55 versus a lefty. And he's going to connect with a single. Long center into the gap into right center field. And he will hold at first with a single. So for the 2nd inning in a row, the Reds get their leadoff runner on. He is a 4C, or a 3C rather, and we got a 4, so he's not able to get a lead. Vada Pinson, lefty versus lefty. Pinson does much better versus righties. He's a B bunter. I think we're going to go ahead and let him sacrifice here. So that's he is a B bunter. It's hit back to the pitcher, so that will not change, and so he just barely gets it down. So that is a ground out. That will be the pitcher to second base. The batter's out. Johnson makes it to second, and it's a bunt. So Johnson goes to second. Sacrifice bunt for Pinson, 1-4. And there is 1 away. So that brings up Leo Cardenas, the shortstop. I believe has played in every game so far this year. He's hitting .323 with 5 RBIs. And here's the pitch from the lefty Gibbons. That's a 9. That's an in-play 79. So that's going to be a fly ball out to right, or a center field rather. Bill Verdon will chase it down. Oop, I hit it the wrong one. That's a fly ball to center for the 2nd out. Johnson will have to hold at second. So Leo Cardenas isn't able to deliver a clutch hit, and it'll be up to Hal Smith. He is catching. He's only has 5 at bats. He caught the 2nd game of the doubleheader yesterday. So he is in again at catcher. Johnson on second base. And that's a 10, which is a defensive check. We're going to check the error rating of Mazeroski, who is a 3. So here at Crosley Field, 1-57 will be an error. And that's a 57, so he just barely got in there. So that's a single plus a 1 base error. So that will score Johnson. So that's an infield hit, and then Mazeroski throws the ball away, which will allow Smith to make it to second. So that's a single plus an error on the second baseman. So I wonder if they give him they're going to give Smith RBI on that. Nope, they're not. Alrighty. So Johnson scores from second base, and the Reds have tied it up, thanks to the error on the normally sure-handed Mazeroski. So that's a single for Smith. And then we got an E4. See how many errors that is for Mazeroski this year. That's actually just his first. So E number 1. So that brings up Chico Ruiz, and versus a lefty, he's pretty bad. They could walk him for the pitcher, who he's only a 1 on the pitcher's card, so he's pretty bad too. I'm going to do the decider die. I don't know what they're going to do. So does he walk him? Yes. All right, so they're going to intentionally walk him and go ahead and take their chances, especially with the runner on scoring position. That's not a bad call. So intentional walk, even though Ruiz isn't that great of a hitter, especially versus lefties. But they'll take their chances with Joey J. He's 1 for 4 so far. He hit .057 and 53 at-bats in the real 64 season. So that's a tough 78, and he will go down swinging. So the strategy paid off for the Pirates, but the Reds are able to tie it up. So Danny Murtaugh, brilliant Pittsburgh manager. So the Reds get 1 run on 2 base hits, 1 error, 1 runner left, and we go to the top of the third, tied at 1. Joey J had a decent year. He ended up being 11-11 with a 3.39 ERA. He had a couple really good years in the early 60s. So Gene Alley will lead off things here as the Pirates turn over the lineup. So this will be the second time through the lineup for Jay. And that's a tough 98. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Harper and left. And he will put it away for the first out of the inning. Bill Verdon, center fielder, flew out in his first effort of the game. Beautiful evening here in Cincinnati. Beautiful May evening. We get a 7, which is a tough 53 versus a righty, and that's going to be a ground ball to Ruiz. He fields it cleanly and fires across the infield for out number 2. Roberto Clemente. He was a strikeout victim back in the first. And here is the pitch from Joey J. 2 out, nobody on. That's an in-play 43, and he is going to get him to pop out on the infield. So Klaus calls for it, and nobody argues with him, and he puts it away to end the inning. So Joey J's been able to get Clemente 2 times so far. We go to the bottom half of the third, still 1-1. So the Reds will bring up the top of the lineup as well here in the third. Tommy Harper, who singled and was erased on a double play on the bunt attempt by Klaus, will lead off. And here is the pitch from Gibbon. And that's a 9. That's an in-play 46 versus a lefty, and that's going to be a ground ball to first base. Clendenin will underhand it to the pitcher, and there is 1 away. Bobby Klaus, who popped up into that double play, attempting to sacrifice bunt, will be up next. 1 for 7 so far on the year for him. And we get a 5, which is an in-play 31 versus a lefty, so that's just out of the range. And that will be a pop-up over toward the foul ground in left field. And Stargell, Alley, and Freeze will race over, and Alley calls for it. And he will catch it in foul ground for second out of the inning. So that's 2 away. Good play by Alley there. So Frank Robinson is up with 2 out, nobody on, looking to get his season on track. That's a 6, which is tough, 14, and he will go down swinging. So 11th strikeout this year for Robinson. So that Reds go in order, and we will head to the top of the 4th, still 1-1. Willie Stargell will start the Pirate 4th. He grounded out to end the 1st inning. So he's got some really good Pirate years ahead of him. So that's a patient 0-4, and he will walk. So he didn't draw a lot of walks, but he got one there. That's the first walk today, given up by Joey J. Stargell's a 3D on his steal rating, and we've rolled a 6, so he will not be able to advance on a steal. And Don Clendenin is up. He needs a 12 to sacrifice, so they're not going to do that. So here he'll hit away. The Reds are at double play depth. Clendenin doubled and scored the Pirate run, his first at bat. And that's an in-play 96, and that'd be a fly out to Harper in left field, and he makes an easy snag for out number 1. Bill Mazeroski flew out to Frank Robinson in the 2nd inning. The Reds still at double play depth. Mazeroski has an 8 double play rating, and Joey J has an 8 to match, so a decent candidate for double play, and I can't seem to find this stupid tower hole. That's a defensive check. That's the error rating of the pitcher, and J is a 4. So here at Crosley, 1-44 will be an error, and that's a 72. So that's an out, and that's a ground ball. The runners advance, so that's just a little dribbler in front of the plate, and Joey J is off the mound, and he fires on to first. Stargell will advance to second, and so there's 2 outs, and Stargell on second base. So good play by Jay there. Get the 2nd out of the inning, and that brings up Gene Freese. He flew out to Pinson in his first at bat of the day. So with 2 outs, here's Joey J trying to get out without any runs, and that's an in-play 39, no wild pitch versus a righty, and that's going to be a ground ball to Johnson at first, and he will call off Jay and take it to the bag himself to end the inning. So once again, the Pirates get a leadoff runner and leave him there. So no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-1. Darren Johnson will do battle with Joe Gibbon to lead off the inning. Darren Johnson singled and scored in his first at bat. And here is the pitch, righty Johnson versus the lefty Gibbon. That's a wheelhouse 07, and that is clobbered. That's over opposite field to right, and just enough. So Johnson muscles that out to the opposite field. That's going to be his first home run of the year. And the Reds are up by 1. So nice job of hitting there by Johnson. Home run number 1. And the Reds are up 2-1. So Vada Pinson had a sacrifice bunt in his first at bat. Lefty versus lefty, so Gibbon trying to not let that phase him. And that's a tough 0-2, and he will strike out Pinson swinging. So that's the first out of the inning, 3rd strikeout of the evening for Gibbon. And he will focus his attention on Leo Cardenas, who flew out in the 2nd. Righty Cardenas versus the lefty Gibbon. Here's the pitch. And that's an in-play 93, and that's going to be a fly ball. Easy fly ball out to Stargell. He will put it away for out number 2. Hal Smith. He singled and made it to second on a throwing error by Bill Mazeroski. Mazeroski's first error of the 64 campaign. So 2 outs, nobody on. And that's that's a rare play 2. So let's see what that has to say. That's a walk. The catcher is ejected for arguing the call. So how about that? So Hal Smith will draw a walk. A 2-out walk. And Pagliarone is going to be sent to the showers. So let's see what we got here. We got Smokey Burgess. Minimoto looks like he can catch. I didn't know that. And then we got McFarlane. So it looks like Burgess has the most at bats. So we'll let Smokey take over the catching duties and find his card, because Pagliarone is actually due up in the next inning. So, alrighty. So Pagliarone is sent to the showers, and we will carry on. Hal Smith is a 4B, and we got a 2 there, so he's actually going to try to steal. Smokey Burgess has a 4 arm, which is pretty good, but so a B4 is going to give us an excellent chance. Actually, the higher the arm, the worse it is. So, anyway, so a B4, and that's an excellent chance for Hal Smith, and that's a drop question mark. So let's see, I can't remember what that means. Roll a 1d6. If it's higher than the fielder's E rating, the fielder drops the ball and the runner's safe. So Smokey Burgess's E rating is a 3. So if it's higher than a 3, okay. If it's higher than it, the fielder drops the ball, and if it's equal to or lower, the runner is out. So he drops the ball, and the batter is safe. So I don't know if they give him an error on that. I don't think they do. So seems like we'll just say it bounced in front of him and he wasn't able to field it cleanly. So that's a stolen base for Smith. I believe, pretty sure that's his first one. Yep. So Hal Smith surprises everybody by stealing a base. He had 1 stolen base in real life. So Smith gets stolen base number 1. So with 2 outs, we got Ruiz up again. They intentionally walked him last time to get to Joey J. I don't think they're going to do that again. Let's pitch to him and see if they can get him out and then have the pitcher leading off, because Ruiz isn't much of a hitter this year. And again, I missed the tower. So that's a tough 14, and he goes down swinging. So once again, Danny Murtaugh is a manager extraordinaire. So the Reds will have Joey J leading off the 5th, but we do get 1 run on Darren Johnson's first home run of the season, and we go to the top of the 5th. The Reds up by 1. So Joey J back on for his 5th inning of work. He has an 8 fatigue rating. So this will be Smokey Burgess, the 37-year-old veteran. It's probably not easy catching at that age. He was a pretty good hitter in his day. So anyway, he will be the catcher. He hit 244 in real life, and he's hitting 2 for 2 in the replay. So here's Joey J versus the lefty Burgess. That's an 8, which is a tough 75. And so that's going to be a ground ball to Klaus at second. He ranges to his right, throws across his body, and throws out the slow Burgess. He's got a 4 run rating. I don't recall seeing anybody with a 4. So he was really slow, which for a 37-year-old catcher, that's kind of what you would expect. Joe Gibbon, 11 hitter, will take his place in the right-handed batter's box. He flew out in his first at bat of the day. And that's a tough 94. And so he missed the strikeout, but that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. Out number 2. So Gibbon has flew out twice. Gene Alley is 1 for 2. 2 outs, nobody on. Righty versus righty. 24-year-old shortstop. And we get a in-play 75, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Pinson. He'll step forward a couple steps and retire it for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Pirates go down in order in the 5th. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Cincinnati. So Joey J will lead off here in the bottom of the 5th. He struck out swinging. His first at bat. That's a tough 55, and he will go down swinging again. So he's not giving Gibbon any trouble today. Out number 1. Tommy Harper is 1 for 2. He does have 5 stolen bases in 7 attempts. And that's a ballpark 48, and that's going to be a wheelhouse for Harper versus lefties. 1-43 is a good thing. And he gets a 5, and that's a home run. How about that? So that's a opposite field little looper, and that's just enough to find the right field corner. And Tommy Harper has hit his first home run of the season. And the Reds are up by 2. So that's just the second home run given up today and for the season for Gibbon. He came into the game having given up none, but so far he has given up 2. So Harper with his first home run. Reds have got 2 on the day, and it is 3-1. So with 1 out, 1 run in, Bobby Klaus will step in, face the left-handed Gibbons. He is 0 for 2 today. And that will be a tough 33 versus the lefty, and he's going to bang out a hit. So that's a sharp liner that drops in front of Stargell. And the Reds have their 6th hit of the day. Klaus is a 4D. And again, Burgess is a 4-arm. So that's a D4. And that will actually be a normal, so we will let Klaus see what he can do. So a normal steal. That's a stolen base plus an E2. And Burgess, I said his error rating is a 3. So on the error, if it's higher, it's thrown into the outfield. So if we get a 4, 5, or 6, he gets a 3. So he doesn't commit the error, but Klaus gets the stolen base. I believe that's Klaus's first stolen base of the season. Yep. So some unlikely guys getting stolen bases today. So Klaus is on second with 1 out. Stolen base number 1 for him. And so Frank Robinson will step in. So they'll obviously face him with Darren Johnson on deck. So again, trying to get Frank out of his funk here, just hitting 135, 7 for 52. So he is off to a pretty bad start. He gets a tough 30, and that's going to be a wild pitch. So that goes to the backstop. Klaus will go to third. That is Gibbons' first wild pitch of the day, or the season. So wild pitch. Wild pitch number 1 for Gibbon. And so Klaus will be on third. Looks like the Pirates are going to bring the infield in for Robinson. And the old rules, you would use that roll, but he says that now you roll one more time for a possible back-to-back wild pitch. But if that happens, then you use that roll. You don't do it 3 times. So get another roll for Robinson here. That's a ballpark 89, so that's going to be an in play for Robinson. So 1-33 is a good thing versus a lefty. And he gets an 82, which is a fly ball to center field. That's an in play. So on in plays, that's not deep enough to advance the runner. So he hits it out to Verdon, short fly, and Klaus will have to hold it third. So Frank Robinson continues his struggles. And that brings on Darren Johnson. So they're going to walk him to get to Pinson. Pinson's a good hitter, but he struggles with lefties, so they're going to take their chances with him. Darren Johnson murders lefties. So that's the second intentional walk given up today by the Pirates. It worked the first time, so we'll see if it works for them the second time. As Veda Pinson, who has a sacrifice bunt and struck out swinging. 2 outs, runners on first and third. And here is the pitch from Gibbon, lefty versus lefty. And that's a ballpark 45, so that's going to be a wheelhouse, so that's not very good. So 1-40 is something good for Pinson. And oh boy, 59. So Gibbon got away with that one. He threw a meatball, and Pinson hits a rocket to left field right at Stargell, and he don't have to move an inch, and that retires the side. So he hit it hard, but right at him. So that's the third out of the inning. The Reds get another run on 2 base hits. There were no errors, and they left 2 runners on. So we go to the top of the 6th. The Reds are up 3-1. So Joey J back on for inning 6. 2, 3, and 4 up for the Pirates. Bill Verdon, left-handed hitting center fielder, is 0 for 2 so far. Here's the pitch from the right-handed Jay. That's a defensive check. We will be checking the range of the third baseman. Ruiz is a D. So 1-57 is a hit here in Cincinnati. And that's a 3, so that'll be a hit to the third baseman. And that's an infield single. So a little number down the line, and Ruiz is not able to field it in time. And so once again, the Pirates get their leadoff runner on. So an infield single for Verdon. He's a 3F. Yeah, with them being down by 1 and him being that stealer, I'm going to override that one. So he's going to hold out at first. Roberto Clemente is actually a pretty good bunter, but I don't think they're going to bunt. So we will have the infield in at double play depth. Clemente is 0 for 2 today, still hitting .381 for the year. And that's a tough 54, and he's going to connect on that one. So that's a long single into the gap. The runner on first advances 1 base. So Pinson's on it quickly, and the Pirates have the tying runs on base. So Clemente with his first hit of the day. That brings up the big slugger Willie Stargell. He is grounded out and walked. So the Reds at double play depth. And here is the pitch from Jay. Big pitch of the game here. That's a 9. That's a tough 34. No wild pitch. And that's going to be a strikeout swinging. So big strikeout there for Jay. Confounded Stargell. That will be just his second strikeout of the game, but a big one. So with 1 out, that'll bring on Clendenon, who has doubled scored and flew out. So again, Joey J looking here for a big pitch. Reds at double play depth. That's a tough 10, and he strikes out Clendenon swinging. So Joey J pulling out the stops here. 2 outs, 2 on for Bill Mazeroski, who is 0 for 2. righty versus righty. Jay looks into the sign, looks in for the sign from Hal Smith, and here's the pitch. That's a ballpark 05. That's going to be a wheelhouse. So 1/43 is something good for Mazeroski. And that's a 78. So he hangs a slider. Mazeroski hits a fly ball to center field and hits deep. And Penson's back at the wall, and he grabs it. So Mazeroski just missed that one. Jay got away with it. So that retires the side. So good job of pitching overall, though. Joey J put on the first two, but they were left there. And so we'll go to the bottom of the sixth. The Reds still able to hold on to a 2-run lead. So 6, 7, and 8 are due for the Reds. Gibbons' fatigue rating is 7, so he's already given up 3 runs. So next inning he will be fatigued, but Danny Murtaugh is going to see if he can get him through this inning. So Leo Cardenas is 0 for 2. That's an in-play 3, and that's going to be a double. That's a deep drive and over Verdon's head. One hops the wall, and Cardenas is in easily with a double. And that's going to be his third. 7th hit of the evening for the Reds. Cardenas gets double number 3. So he's a 3D, so nothing going on with the steal. Hal Smith is up. He's a B bunter. But with Ruiz and Jay coming up, we'll let him hit away. So Clendenin is in at first, just in case. Smith is singled and walked. Has a stolen base as well. So that's a in-play 76. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Vernon will call for it and put it away for the first out. Cardenas hangs out at second. Chico Ruiz will take his place in the right-handed batter's box versus the lefty Gibbon. So here is the pitch from Gibbon. That is an 8, which is a tough 68. 68 is going to be a ground ball to Mazeroski, and he will throw him out easily, but Cardenas will make it to third. So with 2 away, runner on third, that brings up the pitcher Joey J, who is struck out swinging twice. So Gibbon looking to get out of this inning. He's due up third, so they will obviously pinch hit for him. If he can get this one, that's an in-play 10. Ooh, boy, that would have been a hit for 99% of the hitters in this game. But as it is, that's going to be a pop out to Mazeroski, and he will squeeze it for out number 3. So got a favorable row there, but Joey J is a 1 hitter, so that's about as bad as you can get. So no runs on a hit, so waste the leadoff double. And didn't put this one in here. So we will go to the top of the 7th. The Reds still up 3-1. My Crosley Field's getting crooked. All right. So Joey J, he's just given up 1 run. His fatigue rating is 8. So he's still good and healthy. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Pittsburgh club. Freezy is 0 for 2. So here is Joey J. That's a tough 70. And that's going to be a ground ball to Klaus at second base. He runs to the hole and pivots and throws to Johnson for the first out of the inning. That brings up Smokey Burgess. He grounded out in his only at bat after taking over for Pagliaroni, who was ejected for arguing balls and strikes. That's a tough 70, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Pinson in center field. He comes in a couple steps and puts it away for out number 2. So that'll be it for Gibbon. See what the Pirates have on the bench. Looking for a lefty. Looks like they got Lynch, so they'll go with him. Jerry Lynch, 33-year-old veteran. I believe he spent quite a few years with the Pirates. Seems like he was with them in my 54 replay, if I remember correctly. So he is 5 for 11 with a home run, so he's had a pretty good season so far in limited play. So Lynch and a pinch hit with 2 outs. Here is Joey J with the offering, and that's a tough 35, and he is going to go down looking. So Joey J paints the outside corner. Lynch stands there and admires it, and that will do it for the Pirates as they go in order in the 7th. So bottom of the 7th, 3-1 Reds, and the Pirates. Danny Murtaugh is going to have to find him a pitcher. Let's see what they've got. The Reds have mostly righties. So it looks like, let's go with throw-out Face there. He's only had 1 appearance, and he had 55 in real life. So we'll go with Mr. Face. He didn't have that great a year, however. But the Pirates are down, so they're not going to bring in their ace. All right, so Roy Face, so far he is just pitched a third of an inning, so not much to report yet for him. He is a righty, so we'll grab his card out of the pack. So Leroy Face will get the top of the Cincinnati order after our 7th inning stretch. So Tommy Harper hit his first home run of the campaign, his last at bat. He's 2 for 3 today to get his average up to 234. That's going to be an in-play 79. So that's a fly ball out to Verdon. 1 out. Bobby Klaus is 1 for 3 with a stolen base. Got as far as 3rd, but was left stranded there. So righty versus the righty Face. That's going to be an in-play 42. So that's going to be line to Mazeroski. Line to Mazeroski. And out number 2. So far, Face is doing a good job. He will set his attention on Frank Robinson with 2 out and nobody on. Frank is 0 for 3 to plummet his average down to 132. That's an in-play 56, and so that's going to be a ground ball to Freese. And he will throw on to first, and the Reds go down in order. So we go to the top of the 8th inning. 3-1 Cincinnati Reds. So Jay is on for his 8th inning of work. He will face the top of the Pirate order. So they have 2 more efforts at him. So this is his fatigue inning, but he's only given up 1 run. So Fred Hutchinson will keep a close eye on him. Gene Alley is 1 for 3. And that will be a tough 23, and he goes down swinging. So that's strikeout number 5 today for Joey J. Gets that important first out of the inning, and he will face Bill Verdon, who has an infield single and 3 at-bats, hitting .238. And here's the pitch. And that's a tough 75, and that's going to be hit out to Pinson weakly. And he will grab that can of corn for out number 2. So there was a lot of offense in yesterday's doubleheader with the Mets, but so far today, have a bit of a pitcher's duel. So Clemente is up with nobody on and 2 outs, which is how you like Clemente to be up. That's a in-play 42, so with a righty, that's going to be a pop out to on the infield, and Klaus calls for it, and that will be the end of the Pirate 8th. So good job by Joey J. as he gets the Pirates down in order for the second inning in a row. And we will go to the bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Reds. So 4, 5, and 6 is what Face has to face. In his second inning of work, he has a short fatigue, so he can go 2 innings. So Darren Johnson is singled, homered, scored twice, was intentionally walked, so he's having a pretty good day at the plate. That will be a tough 36, and he goes down swinging. So first strikeout of the game for Face. 1 away. Veda Pinson is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. Glad to see a right-hander on the mound. He does much, much better against righties. That will be patient 96, so he got a decent pitch there, but he's just able to fly it out to Clemente, who puts it away for out number 2. And Leo Cardenas, 2 out, nobody on. He hit his 3rd double, his last at bat, so he's 1 for 3, hitting .324 for the year. That will be a defensive check. We will be checking the error rating of Freese at 3rd, which is a 1, so that's not very good. So 1 to 88 will be an error, so chances are not with him, but he gets a 98. How about that? So Freese makes the miraculous play. That's an out to the infield, so that's a ground ball. So Freese fields it cleanly against all odds and throws out to retire the Reds in the 8th. So that's the second inning in a row. The Reds have gone down in order. So here we go to the top of the 9th. The Reds up by 2. Fred Hutchinson will send out Joey J with the bullpen on alert. He will start off with Willie Stargell. Willie is walked and 3 at bats, struck out swinging his last one with runners on first and second, nobody out. So that was a big, important at bat this game. So he gets a tough 11, and he goes down swinging again. So Jay not having any trouble with Stargell tonight. So that's out number 1. Don Clendenin has doubled and scored in 3 at bats. He has 4 home runs on the year, 11 RBIs. Righty versus righty. And that's going to be a ballpark 66, so that will be out of the wheelhouse range. So that will be an in-play. 1 to 36 is good for Clendenin, and he gets a 53, so that's lined hard, but right at Cardenas it's short. And the Pirates are down to their last out. And Bill Mazeroski, the 1960 World Series hero. We'll see if he can do some heroics here. So far, he's 0 for 3, so here's Joey J. The Cincinnati fans, all 3,355 of them are on their feet. And here's the pitch. And that's a tough 34, and he is going to fight off a really good pitch and hit a line drive into center field. So the crowd hushes as Mazeroski gets the Pirates their 6th run of the game, or 6th hit rather. He's a 2D, so he's going to hang out at first. The tying run at the plate with Freese. Let's see. So we're going to let Joey J. We'll let him have one more at bat, and if he can't get Freese, we'll see what we can do about Burgess coming up. So here's the pitch. Runner on first, 2 out. And that's a patient 66. And that's going to do it as he hits a ground ball to Klaus. And he fields it cleanly, throws on to Johnson, and that is the ball game. So how about that? 3-1 Cincinnati. They have won their 3rd in a row after taking both ends of the doubleheader yesterday. Let me switch over here to our... hang on a sec. There we go. Switch over to our screen. So, Joey J goes 1-1. Awesome game. Complete game. 6 hit, 1 runner. Joe Gibbon pitched very well, but he ended up taking the loss to go 1-1. They give the MVP to Joey J. So we'll check out our box score here. So the Reds go to 11-7. The Pirates drop to 10-7. I'd say the hitting star would be Harper and Johnson, who had home runs. The Reds' third run was scored on an error by Mazeroski, his first. So Gibbon pitched a pretty good game. He gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings. Roy Face did a good job in relief, but Joey J was the star of the game. He drops his ERA to 4.10 for the year. So there you have it. So a good game from Crosley Field here on May the 4th, Be With You Day, which wasn't a thing in 1964, obviously. So I appreciate it. Enjoyed it very much. Hope you did too, and I'll see you next time.